Hi everyone. Today I am going to talk about structuralism and narrative theory. Narrative is an extraordinarily complex term in literary and critical theory. It is used interchangeably with story, form, plot, and even structure. Let's try and define narrative first before exploring the structuralist analysis of narrative. Paul Cobley provides a definition when he states narrative is a particular form of representation implementing signs. Thus, a narrative is a system of signs in a particular sequence or order. We know that signs can be verbal, written, oral, gestural, and iconic. But narrative is not restricted to stories or films. Narrative is also the construction of a nation, history, sports, and violence. Paul Wake defines narrative as the ways in which we construct notions of history, politics, race, religion, identity, and time. All of these things might be understood as stories that both explain and construct the ways in which the world is experienced. For the purpose of literary and cultural analysis, we can define narrative as the act of representation using signs in particular sequences so that we construct specific notions of reality, self, and the world. Our construction and interpretation of the world through the use of words, sounds, figures, gestures, and relations intricately linked to language. Since, as we have already noted, sounds, words, gestures are all signs or language. In the 20th century, structuralism generated some of the most rigorous analysis of narrative and its form. The study of narrative is called narratology, a term often used interchangeably with poetics. A term that is used to describe the language of narrative and has come to occupy center stage in almost every theory today is discourse. Discourse traditionally meant spoken or written presentation. It is what we read or listened to. In the case of structuralism, this is the sense in which discourse is used. Now, after post-structuralism, it refers to the language used in social practice. That is, discourse now refers to the functional as well social, political and ideological aspects of language. Now, we are moving to the Russian formalism and the poetics of fiction. As we have already noted, the Russian formalists were more interested in the language of poetry. In their later work, however, critics like Vladimir Prop, Viktor Shklovsky, and much later Todorov explored narrative structure in fiction. More contemporary narratologists like Gerald Genette also built on the structuralism of the Russian formalists as they refined their study of prose narratives. Now we are moving to the folk tale. Vladimir Prop's analysis of the folk tale is a classic example of structuralist criticism at work. Prop argued that every character in a folktale plot had a specific function. We know after structuralism that a plot is the consequences of many elements in relation with each other. What was fascinating about Prop's analysis is that he is able to locate a mere 7 key performers who create 7 spheres of action. That is, all fairy tales can be reduced to a set of 7 characters who generate the entire plot through their various relationships. Here is props list. Hero, false hero, villain, donor or provider, helper, princess and her father, dispatcher. Now, prop also identified 31 functions to be founded in every folk tale. The folk tale is thus reducible to this set of functions created by the 7 performers. It is important to realize here that the number of spheres of action is finite even when the number of characters is infinite. That is, whatever be the number of characters, they all combine in specific ways to generate the plot. We can discover such a scheme in, say, popular Hindi films. We have the hero, the heroine, the villain. The hero has a task set out for him, through which he has to prove himself. During the course of the task, he is helped by some and obstructed by others. He eventually triumphs and the villain is destroyed. The underlying scheme here is the good versus evil, where the evil is ultimately defeated and good triumphs. After all the permutations and combination in the plot, this essential scheme does not change. It is the structuring principle of the film. Here is a basic formula. A boy meets a girl, they fall in love, tensions in families as a result. Boy or girl has to prove himself or herself. Plot to ensure the lovers do not have a smooth path to marriage. Villain plays dirty tricks. Struggle of hero or heroine. Villain defeated. Parents reconciled. Marriage. So that's all. Thank you.